Hey guys, Stuart Pidlong, the most targeted citizen. This is a late night video. It's about 11 o'clock. Tina just got off work from a day on the lake. She had to go learn a new part of her job. So that entails us waiting all day long to cook these beautiful pork chops. To all the dads out there, I just want to say Happy Father's Day to you. I spent the time with my son today and went by my daughter's work because she was working and got to see her. I didn't get to see my oldest daughter. She's mad at Dad right now and has been for a couple years. And that's okay. I still love her. I ain't mad at her. I love her. I love her just as equal as my other kids, and that's never going to change because that's what dads do. Haven't seen my dad in a few years because of this gang stalking, this organized gang stalking program. It pits families against families, and it is just disgusting. The reason for my video is pretty heartbreaking, to be honest with you. When I was growing up, I was a preacher's kid, and I always hung out with adults. When I was 12, 13, 14, 15, I was out in the bars drinking with them and partying and doing all the things that adults shouldn't even be doing. There's a young man I met at the very early stages of my life. His name was Michael Rice. His dad ran the local hospital, which is a big hospital now, but his dad was the president and CEO of the hospital down here. So he came from very good means. We partied hard together. I just might as well say it. My good friend Mike Rice, that I've known for, I don't know, since I was 14. I can't even calculate the time. He passed away today. He's like not, I think just getting ready to turn 50. He died today. From what I know, when I moved out at 16 years old, I rented a closet at an apartment complex here in Hickory, North Carolina, and the name of the apartment complex was Colonial House Apartments. So I moved out of my mom and dad's house at 15, going on 16 years old, got a job. I was working. I was always working. I've been working since I was 8 years old. We had a party in my house, and we had a party every night. Like I said, I rented the closet because everybody else in the house was a bunch of dope heads, and I rented the closet just to kind of move in. Uh, Within months, I'd already kicked everybody else out of the house. Not because I was a bully or any of that, but I'd moved in and pretty much took over. And I was paying all the bills. So I had this one party one night, and we were all having a good time, and two of my friends decided that they were going to go down a couple apartments down from my home and do a little vandalism. Now, I don't hang out with people that vandalize or steal. I just don't have, that's not my way of life. I don't hang out with people that commit crime. But my buddies decided to go down, and if you can recognize this time frame, that's when the cops started using the large Chevy Impalas, the big round, long ones, the Impalas. You know, they had the Impala SS that they came out with it. Everybody looked at pretty good. But that was when the police just started using those Impalas. My buddies, my two friends, got the smart idea with this brand new Impala police car. They got the big idea that they were going to put 22 shells in the gas tank and light it on fire. I knew nothing about it. I'm in there partying until I pass out, which I did. It's me and my buddy Josh Holler. I think Selena, who was my roommate, cool chick. Michael and my buddy Dale. Michael and Dale decide they're going to light the cop car on fire. Pretty sure my buddy Mike was there too. I just can't make sure I'm not positive if he was there or not. Normally, when Dale was around, Mike was around. So, just another reason why I may be on a terrorist watch list, because my buddies decided to blow up a police car. Woke up the next day. They took me into the police department, put me on a lie detector machine, and they told me I even lied about my name. That you could explain that one or two ways. You can explain it as I'm just a chronic liar and I lie all the time, and everything I say out of my mouth is a lie. machines don't work. That's why they're not admissible in court. The machine said I lied about my own name when I sat there and told him my name that's on my birth certificate and showed an ID. To my knowledge, at this moment, I do not know if Mike Byram, the other guy that was involved, I haven't heard hiding her head for him since those days. I'm the last surviving person, male friend of mine, that was in my home that night. My buddy Josh died. Voices in his head. He hung himself. Voice of God weapons used on him. Dale, who wasn't even 40 years old, had a massive heart attack. Healthy as a horse one day, and the next day has a massive heart attack and dies. Me, I'm afflicted with voice of God weapons, targeted individual. My buddy Mike, who went on to become a nurse, he didn't want to be a doctor. He wanted to be a nurse. His whole dream was be a nurse on a cruise ship and travel the world. And I think he actually did that for a few seasons until he met a beautiful young lady and settled down. And I don't know if he was the actual father. I know he was his kid's baby. I mean, he raised her daughter. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm pretty flustered right now. Out of everybody in that home, one died of a massive heart attack who was healthy as a horse. My buddy Josh was talked into suicide through voice of God weapons, voices in his head. I was afflicted and still am afflicted with voices in my head, voice of God weapons that had me hang myself. Thank God that I was saved. My buddy Mike Byram got a flesh-eating disease. It's almost like it was out of a sci-fi movie. Thousands of skin grafts. And this, whatever disease this is, just ravaged his body. He got healthy, and then boom, it hit him again, and it finally killed him. And so I lost him today. Very disheartened. His family lives in Georgia, and I can't drive that far. It's 5 hours from where I'm at. So, I'm pretty tore up. So if anybody in the audience, if you can just pray for my buddy Mike Rice as we remember him today. He had a heart of gold, a head of stone. Very intelligent, very, very smart guy. I spent some time with him. He come to town, I guess about a year or so ago, and we all went to the hotel room and chilled out together, and I got to meet his wife. And just strange, though. I'm the last one alive out of everyone that was in that home that night of the cop car burning to the ground, and every one of us, 2 or 3 of them died. My buddy Josh died before he was 30. I committed suicide, I think, right after I turned 30. Dale died right before he might have been 35. And then Mike, of course, being dead now, right at 50 years old. I was watching a little YouTube, one of these little YouTube shorts. They're addictive, and literally I've been chained to my phone for the last 3 hours, and I hate it. I got to stop. I got to step away. But this guy was assessing the shooting I think that happened at the grocery store, I think it was. A man gets up. He has all these weapons. Voices in his head are telling him to go to this grocery store 2 hours away and start shooting people. Yeah. One man that he shot had invented, or because many people have not only invented this, but came up with their own creation. One African-American victim that nobody's talking about. They're trying to keep it on the down low. One victim. Now remember, this guy wakes up one day, voices in his head that tells him to drive to this certain grocery store, go in there and start shooting people. 2 hours away, he was told to go to the specific grocery store 2 hours away. Well, one victim that he disposed of had just invented and perfected the hydrogen car. A car that runs off of water. A voice in his head tells him to arm up, drive 2 hours away to a specific grocery store at the exact same time this African-American gentleman was there who had invented a hydrogen car. All these supposed shootings. Now another thing comes through on the Uvalde, Texas shooting. On the video, it shows that cops checked every door to that school. When they're outside for an hour, beating, tasing, arresting parents, this kid who had a part-time job at Taco Bell, yet has $9,000 to buy the best military, well, not military, but best firearms on the market. A kid with a part-time job just has $9,000 to spend, who's in touch with a certain FBI agent, who's in touch with the other shooter, goes to this building. One woman unlocks, goes out the door, and then leaves and goes back inside, leaves the door unlocked out of every door in that building while all this is being recorded and filmed. That's the one door that law enforcement did not check. The one that was unlocked. They knew, and the one that was unlocked was the exact room where the guy was in there shooting, killing children, but nobody even went to that door. They didn't even know that was supposedly the room where he was shooting kids at. That's just the one door out of around the whole building that they didn't even go to. I'm going to tell you now, like I've told you before, false flags are not only, they're not fake because there are no victims. They're set up. What's the best way to kill somebody? Have someone else do it. Put a voice or thought in someone's head and give them a target. And it's literally like the Manchurian Candidate, where you watch all these spy novels of guys just hypnotized, and then he goes into this place and boom, he hears the word mockingbird, and all of he hears mockingbird and he starts killing people. It's real life. This mass violence will not end until they take away our guns. And they're going to do it, and do it, and do it, and do it, until there's no more left to do. Until the American people are fed up with it, and they scream to save us from these terrible bang-bangs. It's going to happen. All these brave military guys out there telling you, over my dead body, through my dead hand, you ain't going to get it. Where are they at right now? Why aren't they on the border? Why aren't they invading Washington and taking out our weapons, our enemies, foreign and domestic? Why aren't they protecting us from the invasion of the Chinese? Why aren't they doing anything? Because they're not. Guys, they control minds. You don't have to believe it. I'm living proof. They control minds. They now have taken away free will from innocent people all over the world. They want mass violence to occur. All they got to do is use a voice of God weapon. Because I'm telling you, in the first couple of days you're being hit with it, you don't realize it's not your thought. It may sound like your voice in your head, but it's not, I assure you. And if you're lucky enough to survive like I am and many other targeted individuals, it goes from a thought in your mind to a voice. And then you're like, whoa, something's freaky here. And that's when they start mocking and ridiculing you. See, they'll pretend like they're your conscious talking to you. Until you start realizing, wait a second, I don't use those words. I don't talk like that. And then boom, it's the jump out of the closet and scare you. Ha ha ha, look what I did. You're a blah, blah, blah. I hate you, hate you. And then they mock you and cuss you and the worst things in the world. All with simple technology. The machine that does it costs $70,000. You can purchase them right now. The military's bought them all up. Why does our military, the United States military, buying up every one of them back ordered for years to have these weapons that put voices in your head? They aren't going to stop. They're not going to stop. It's only going to get worse. So the Bible says to think clearly. It says test the spirits. Spirits are not only spirits, but they're also voices. Test the spirits to make sure they're of God or not. Until you understand that what I've been screaming is real, until you believe me, you may be the next victim. I'm praying you're not. All I'm trying to do is save your life. And I can't help if you don't want to listen. But we're all in danger because these people want you dead. This evil government, they want us dead. They want all power and control. They're shipping in millions of illegal aliens right now to replace you. Please research Voice of God weapons. Please research remote neural monitoring. Please research everything I'm telling you. Look up targeted individuals and go on YouTube and look at the thousands of people just like me having the same exact symptoms. We've never met each other. It is like the world is turned upside down and everyone and everything is against us, literally like we're in backwards world. It's not fake. It's not me being a fraud. It's not for attention. This is the real life devastation of innocent people from around the world. We are the vegetables. We are the canary in the coal mine. They tested on us first. Social credit score, anyone? And they use it on the masses. You may say, oh, I know when it's my voice in my head or not. I know my voice besides anybody else's. The best way to kill someone is have them kill themselves. They can make you do that. They can also make you kill many other ones before you do it. Then there's no witnesses to the crime. And they walked away clean. I'm Stuart Pidlon, the most targeted citizen. Mike Rice, my friend Michael Rice, who was a sinner and an atheist his whole entire life. From what I understand, I told his wife before he passed away, I said, please introduce him to Jesus, and please introduce him to Jesus. And from what I hear, not from her directly, from another best friend of mine, that he accepted Jesus as his Lord and Savior a day before he passed. Mike Rice won the race. God bless.